Hey everyone, we should be live. I'm hoping so. So if someone can just let me know if they can see me in the audience or not and hear me, that would be very helpful. Hey, great. Megan says we're on. The internet's been doing some weird, funky stuff. Hey, Dave made it. How you doing, Dave? Long time no talk, my friend. Internet's been doing some funky stuff with some delays and stuff as of lately. So that's good. Hey, Joel, glad you can hear me. Thank you so much for that. So now that we've established that you guys can hear and see me, I want to talk about a couple things first. If you have not joined Cyber Social Hub yet, absolutely free, no strings attached. Occasionally you'll get a rare marketing email from us, not too often, just to let you know about hubcasts or stuff other people are doing. It's never really what we're doing. We're more of the centralized, trying to be the centralized location for some information because, as a longtime digital forensic guy myself, it was hard to get, the latest goings on, find a central source because there's so many, and and I hate to say it, but there's a lot of niche things that are happening with the industry, and that's part of the reason for the title of the Hubcast today is how do you actually network more with folks, and so we have Brandt, he's in the audience right now. I see him in there. That going to help us walk through that. But first, if you haven't joined the site yet, I'm going to walk you through something here real quick. Oh man, it may boot me out. It tends to do this when I share my screen. So maybe I won't share right now, but I'll wait till Brandt gets up on here. But we have a section on our site now. If you go into the main feed, not the homepage, you do have to be a member of Cyber Social Hub. And then clear in the upper right corner, you're going to see free sticker. This is the free sticker. Well, these are still wrapped in plastic. It's not really that thick. But this is the free sticker, and it does actually stick to things pretty well. And it's a nice vinyl. I mean, it's not some cheap paper sticker in there at all. It's a nice vinyl, and it's 100% free. Just if you're, the only thing that we have to worry about here is if you're in a country really affected by COVID badly. The U.S. is not sending out to some countries right now, and there's going to be a big delay on it. Other than that, I literally am just dropping these things in envelopes and shipping them off out of there. And yeah, we'll spray it with alcohol if it makes you feel better too. But I'm COVID free, I think. I think, right? It makes you guys feel so much better, right? So the site, I am going to attempt to share my screen here, and I may have to come right back in. So I'm going to share, and I'm going to actually share my own application window. Chrome tab. So I'm going to share that right there. Okay, so let me jump back over here. I'm going to make this the close this message. Okay, good. You guys can see this, and it should be the center piece of the presentation here. So what this is our home screen, right? Where you really want to be is my feed. This is where all the good juicy stuff happens. You can see here, right down here, I've just posted some stuff on Kermit because we're asking for articles if you want to submit one, or even link back to your own site, your own blog. That's fine too. As long as it's not a commercial, that's all we care about. Then right here is this free sticker. We could make it more obvious. You just literally click right there. Drives you over to a quick form. Yes, we do need some information from you. If you're not comfortable putting your real stuff in here, get a P.O. box, get whatever. We'll literally just ship these things out to you. No big deal. We just do ask that you only put one in, and you do need to be a member of Cyber Social Hub. So if your buddy wants one or somebody else wants one, by all means, just kick it back in, kick them in as a member. That's absolutely all there is to it. So I'm going to try to, I don't know how I did that, but I'm back suddenly. Yeah, I do stay in my basement, Megan, quite a bit. This office is my basement office, for that matter. So with that being said, we're going to talk about some of the challenges with networking when it comes to digital forensics and cybersecurity, incident response, because especially with COVID right now, everybody's kind of staying at home, and it's been pretty crazy. So let's see if I can get Brandt to come back up on. Brandt, you should be getting an invite here shortly. So Brandt Watkins is with HTCIA, and hopefully his internet's been a little funky, so fingers are crossed that, hey, there he's coming. There he is. All right, awesome. So things have been a little bit delayed with Brandt and I's conversation in the green room earlier. So if that happens, we'll just I'll pause for a while and ask him questions. So welcome, Brandt, and thanks for popping on the broadcast. I appreciate it.
Hey, no problem, Kevin. Great to be here. Really looking forward to having a good conversation today and talking about a variety of topics. And connecting is the key, right? How do we connect? How do we pivot in the COVID reality? And how do we make our connections worthwhile? And how do we get value out of those things? So
right, absolutely. Well, I mean,
open to ideas.
That may or may not know who you are. So I guess give us a little bit of background. Now, I of course I know you and your recent transition in life. We're not talking any other type of transition, but just kind of tell people who you are and where you come from.
Yes, all right. Well, I'm assuming the personality of Brandt Watkins today, and I'm feeling pretty good about that. My background is I was a police officer for 27 years, and I was a correctional. And and I was in digital forensics for 5.5 years, and cyber for 5.5 years, and financial crime for 1.5 years before retiring just last month. So HTCIA and the professional associations that I was involved in were a big part of that. And as soon as you arrive in an area like digital forensics, you certainly understand that you're in a specialty area. And as a supervisor, I was a sergeant, and I had to catch up rather quickly. So that's how my relationship built with HTCIA, and that goes back to about January of 2014.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
And for me, it was about okay. I had lots of experience dealing with digital forensics in terms of investigations. I was a major crime for a number of years, but submitting is a lot different from supervising that unit. So
I think we're getting a little bit of feedback from your own computer.
Yeah, I know, and I'm getting feedback when you were speaking too. So I wonder whose end that is on.
I don't know. I got headphones on, so not possible for my mic to be hearing my voice or other than the feedback. So that's going to limit it. Got to be on your end. So no worries.
Okay, well, you know what? I'll shut down some sound. Okay. So for me, I go back to 2014, and I thought, coming into the section, I had no network connections. I had no tool knowledge. I didn't know the methodology in terms of digital forensics. And I only had experience as a submitting officer.
I think I know maybe what's happening.
So how do you
have more than one?
Quickly?
I know there's some delay in the time you hear me and respond. Do you have more than one tab open with Crowdcast actually running in it? Do you have maybe running in Cyber Social Hub, and then you're in another tab? I only say this because I have maybe done this a handful of times, usually every time. And I actually remembered to close every other tab except the one I'm looking at right now in there. So you might want to check that to see, because I tend to do it every time. And that will give you that.
How is that now? Is that a little bit better?
I think that's it. Oh, back in.
Is that better?
Out. Yeah, I don't hear any echo right now. That make it better for everybody else? Echo also gone for Megan. Yeah, I think that did it. Even Joel says it's gone. It's like the old days of communication. You got to wait for a response, and it's like you're global back across the world. And you might as well be across the world. You're in Vancouver, right? And I'm up near Cleveland, Ohio. So
no, it's all good. Is that better, Kevin?
I still hear it a bit, but I think we can.
Are you still getting an echo?
Not that time.
Okay. Okay. So as I was saying, you know, when I joined forensics, I was looking for a network, and there was a professional network in Canada of sergeants and supervisors, and it was run by the Canadian Association of Chiefs of Police. It's called the Digital Forensics. So I quickly joined that. But there was nobody local to me. The nearest person was in another province, Alberta. So it was hard to make a connection that way. And the easiest connection for me was HTCIA, which had a local chapter in British Columbia. That chapter was filled with law enforcement, security professionals. It was filled with digital forensic members and cyber members and information security members. So I started by asking where the meetings were, asking what the cost was.
I think his system's gonna explode. It's definitely on your end, Brandt. Yeah, definitely looping back on your end somewhere.
So I can still hear that echo myself.
Yeah, I don't know what setup you have over there.
You know what? It shut everything else down.
Yeah, it may be just because you're because there is a natural delay, obviously, with broadcasting online, and it may be just that your speakers are hearing your mic within your internal system, and that's why I use these babies so that it doesn't happen as easily. Do you have headphones setting there by chance or nearby that you could slide on?
Well, you know what? I got a pair of headphones, so let's try that.
All right, we're gamble it. We're doing the gamble. Yeah, in the meantime, while Brandt's getting that ready, I put a poll up down there. If you guys are a member of HTCIA or not. Oh, I forgot to walk through. Oh, Megan, I'm so sorry. Megan made these awesome slides for me to show how to use the Crowdcast environment here. And I had absolutely, I forgot completely about it. So I'm sorry, Megan. Yeah, it's a little late to show the slides, but you get the gist. Down here along the bottom somewhere, you'll see a button or a word that just says polls. You can click that and answer those polls as they come in. Also, if you have a question at any time, it doesn't even have to be related to what we're talking about. If you just want to know who Brandt's barber is, then you can ask a question over there and just click ask a question and you can do it right in there. It's funny because it's delayed getting to Brandt. It's like you're telling that joke and it takes a couple seconds to sink in. Anyway, you can actually click ask a question and ask your questions there. Now, if you do ask them in the main chat, we'll obviously see them, and I can bring them over to the ask a question section. But yeah, go ahead and do that. And you guys have already figured out chat, which is awesome. I'm also going to put a call to action button up here in about 2 seconds here, htcia.org. Yes, I do have to say it when I'm allowed, because otherwise me typing it to otherwise I'd type something completely wrong. So I have just put up here a URL for HTCIA. You'll see a little button either in this corner or in this corner. It's a little green button, just popped up, should be there. And that'll take you to their website if you want to get more information from it. So that'll stay up the whole broadcast, and it'll actually stay up during the rebroadcast too. For those of you who are watching this in the replay, you can absolutely still click that. So with that, while Brandt's getting all set up, Brandt, just let me know when you've made it, and we'll roll back in. But I'm kind of curious from some of the folks in the audience too. Number one, thanks for taking the time out to kind of join. It's always an informal discussion and more of a town hall than anything else. But what do you guys do to to network right now? How are you networking with other digital professionals or investigators, other than, work itself, right? How are you reaching out and beyond? If anyone wants to answer that or take a crack at it, that's fine. And competing organizations are acceptable, but because our job is to then talk you into joining HTCIA from there. I'm kidding.
So how is that now, Kevin? You still getting an echo?
I didn't hear an echo that time. Oh,
okay, good. Okay, I think we should be good to go.
Joel's actually joining HTCI as we speak, he says. So
thank you.
It is like a really old kung fu movie, though, with you.
I told you it would be. Hold on a second.
Right? That's funny stuff. So you got involved in HTCI. We'll try to truck through this. I still hear a little bit of echo, just so you know. And what do you think is the biggest benefit to networking, and not necessarily with just HTCI? Obviously, we want to talk about that organization, but for examiners themselves, right? It was always a challenge getting to know other people. What's the benefits in that?
Yeah. Well, I think, you're never going to have all of the answers. You're always going to be wondering. And I think, as you say, it's hard to meet people, but if you have organized events a couple times a year at the chapter level, or you have one at the conference level, or even the international conference level, you have those opportunities to meet people. One thing that always beats you into every single room is your reputation, Kevin. And it doesn't matter if that's your reputation as a law enforcement officer, information security specialist, or cybersecurity specialist. Those are small groups to be a part of. There's many members, but they're small groups to be a part of in terms of reputation. So I think we all seek out those people that have expertise in those areas. And those people that had expertise in my geographical area were part of the HTCIA. And I didn't get the filtered police opinion. I didn't get the filtered information security opinion. I didn't get the filtered cyber opinion. Mm-hmm. I got all of them together. And then I could make a decision on who I needed to go to in terms of tools, who I needed to go to in terms of equipment, what suppliers had experiences with other members. And, I learned from other people's mistakes and learned from my own mistakes. But I got recommendations in terms of who to deal with in a variety of subjects that I could have never obtained myself. So I think that's the key for me, having a recommended connection. If I talk to you about something, you're going to recommend someone based upon your experience or based upon somebody else's experience. And I think that's key for digital forensic examiner. There's lots of listservs, and you'll get lots of answers from all over the place with qualified people. But rarely do you have the ability to actually call somebody up that you've met or that was recommended to you and say, hey, this is my issue. And, Kevin has pushed me this way and he connected me with you. And, what do you think? And then your help, you're getting their help, and they know that they can come back to you to bounce an idea off you. So that's the sort of networking that I loved there. Because when I took something back to my team, it had been actually utilized in different situations across different areas with different teams. And that was their best practice. So that's what I loved about it and still do.
Yeah, I liked
Does that sort of make sense for you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. My biggest, I think, benefit to networking, or the thing that I found the most valuable, getting to know other examiners, other people that are doing that same thing, running into the same challenges, and you realize that that hey, you're really not alone or unique. Sometimes you can feel pretty stupid, right? If I'm coming across a problem and I'm going like, oh man, what the heck? Why can't I figure this out? And you go to an event to network, and someone's gonna. I mean, I had that exact same problem. Here's what I did, to help solve that, or my experiences. So it really was. I think the benefit of not being isolated out on an island somewhere was kind of the nice thing to really help that aspect of it.
And when you feel that isolation, and you're afraid to take the next step because you don't know if you're doing it right, per se, right? You don't know if somebody's already gone down that road. Let's just say, let's talk tools for a second. Do you remember when Celebrite was the only show in the game, so to speak? And do you remember when Grayshift emerged, right? So it was an interesting time. Because all of a sudden we had this new tool, and it was supposed to be doing spectacular things that we couldn't do in our own labs, but nobody had really taken a look at it. It was like a rumor for a while, and then a couple of colleagues of mine back east with major funding, RCMP federal funding, obtained the tool, spec'd it, and utilized it. And then, it was 3 or 4 days later after launch. Okay, this is good. This is what we've done. Then, okay, now I have a trusted companion that has utilized that tool and found great results with it. Now I can actually go to my managers and say, yes, let's purchase this based upon their experience, right? So that, is one of the things that I love being able to do. As a supervisor, manager, or leader, you're always trying to make it easier for your team to do their job. That's all they want. They want the tools. Obviously, it'd be nice to have all the people to be able to do your job and accomplish everything that you can. But one of the things that you can do is hopefully provide the latest tools. And sometimes those are hard arguments to make to supervisors above you, because it's a budgeting argument. It's a new technology. What are the guarantees here? Well, the only guarantee that you can make is that I have a colleague in another city or another province or another state or another country that has utilized this tool and said that it works perfectly and it's going to make a immediate impact in terms of our workflow. So I had a lot of occasions like that, and those came out of networking. Those came out of chapter meetings or conferences or just recommendations.
So you're saying some of the best marketing is word of mouth, is what you're really saying over there.
Absolutely. But that, the word of mouth only happens if you're talking to somebody, right?
That's true.
And if you're in the right place at the right time. So yeah, you have to depend on your professional associations, or else you're operating in a silo, and we know what happens then. Mistakes.
Yeah. Nothing but trouble.
Other critical opinions.
Yeah,
exactly. Especially for small agencies. That's a hard thing. The big agencies, you may have 20 or 30 people on the floor doing the same thing that you're doing. But for a smaller agency, Vancouver PD, we had 1,400 members. We've moved up to about 15 people in cyber and digital forensics at the moment. But when I started there, we only had 6 people in digital forensics, right? So you need other opinions, and you need to be able to ask other people questions. So that was my experience. That's why it was valuable for me. I could see Joel, 5 technical employees here.
Yeah, well, it's
one
funny.
Of the comments.
It's a funny story. How I got started in digital forensics was that I was the one that knew where the power button was on the computer. for the most part, that I got picked to start going to the training, right? And they said, "Hey,
expectations.
yeah, you're the technical guy suddenly." And so, they send you to all of this training, and that's where I started researching. I got started back in 2002 in digital forensics, and I found HTCIA not too long after. And then, of course, I'm here in Ohio, and I was fortunate enough to have such an active local group that I started going to events almost immediately. It was awesome. Because of that. It was
great.
You get to learn so much and stuff you're not exposed to in the talks at some of the local chapter meetings. But we'll talk about that. I'm kind of jumping way ahead here of that. But so let's move there then. Obviously one of the options are some people are on social media, right? Obviously we always encourage cyber social hub. That's the whole point of it. The word social's in there. But a good professional organization where you guys are always active. You're having, quarterly meetings at the local level. You're having multiple conferences. Either there's local, there's international. We just had a Canadian Cyber Summit, right? That was just all online, which went phenomenal for an online conference. So I guess, since I already talked about most of the benefits, what kind of things do you guys do at the standard local meetings and things like that? What would be an appeal to someone to join HTCI, to want to get involved and to take part in those meetings?
I think it's diversity of membership. First of all, you're not just, again, going back to that, you're not getting just that law enforcement lens or the information security or cyber lens. You're getting a diverse amount of people and diverse topics. Four chapter meetings at a minimum per year. Plus there's webinars from other chapters. There's conferences, and we pivoted right before COVID hit in terms of being a virtual organization, not just a face-to-face organization, because I think everybody understands now, it's hard to make those chapter meetings if it's, in the middle of your workday, or even, in an evening after your workday, especially if they're, only centered in the large metropolitan areas, be that a Vancouver, a Seattle, Portland, Ohio, Columbus, Cleveland. So I think everybody needed to pivot virtually, and we started to do that in mid 2019. And when COVID hit, we were ready to actually produce virtual events. We had the ideas, we gained the know-how through our associations, through Avery Solutions, your company, which created hubs for us and helped manage the, virtual conference in Canada. We were doing webinars before that, but we changed almost everything. We formulated and solidified numerous platforms into identifiable brands. We put out a newsletter for people. We made our organization more accessible than ever, and now we have webinars and webcasts that are regularly scheduled, and you can access them at any time, because we've started to develop a learning management system. So we have a library of, be it lectures like this, or be it actually technical lectures in digital forensics, cyber, information security, with our partners and our vendors and our own members. So I think those things all develop from the chapter level, and that starts with that 4 meetings a year and getting constant information and updates, and having the availability to learn at your fingertips. So, and even our chapter meetings are broadcast so that members from all over the world can attend our chapter meetings. So I think that's the value, and that I see, and that's the way we're going to go ahead. COVID has changed our work patterns. Kevin, you've been doing it for years, so you're a pioneer in the
right. I mean, I don't know if anyone,
but I think we're all starting.
this is actually not the popcorn machine, but right here, I don't know how much you guys can see, but this is a door, and you see that I guess it's called the egg crating. It's actually Auralux that's on there, and that whole thing is a sound. That's a sound booth. That you talk about the cave. You go in that room, it's a cave.
Yeah. So I think, we've been pushed to work from home. Prior to me retiring last month, I was working, 2 days in the office, 2 days at home, and the majority of my crew was doing the same. So that's a safe thing to do in these times. And now, talking to a lot of my compatriots and even my sister-in-law who works for a large accounting company, they've got 150 people out of their office. Only 50 want to go back, right? So people like to stay at home. They don't want to commute. They're actually happier working from home. Gives them a better connection with their family. They want to be able to schedule their workday. And I think, the value in the HTCIA is that when we do have events, you can watch them any time you want because they're recordable. They're all recorded and they're uploaded into systems, and you can schedule your day around some education and some work time, which is a great value for people at a very, very reasonable cost.
Yeah, and that's kind of the real big plus. I mean, we do have a question here. I want to jump to that because it's transitioning to what you just said, and I'll pop it up here and ask it to you here. It's Joel that asked this. He goes, does anyone happen to have a discount code for HTCIA? Smile face. So, Brandt, do you have a discount code? No, there's no discount.
Well, you know what, Joel? Just post webcasts, flip me an email, and I'll throw in my email address right now, and we'll make sure that you are hooked up with an appropriate chapter and on the mailing list in terms of all of our events, right? And that's part of membership right there. So there you go, my friend.
There you go. And you can sign that email address for every listserv that you ever come across. Make sure you drop it in there.
You got
it? Let's see. I'm trying to think of things that won't get me banned if I say them. But yeah, use that email address for whatever you want, by the way. Sorry, Brandt.
It's all good.
Yeah, it's not your Vancouver one.
I know who Joel is.
Life's good.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. But the amazing thing with our events is that if you sign up early, you're going to get a major discount for all of our events anyways, be that a member or non-member. And we have the international conference coming up, and I know you just popped that email before, Kevin, that we were talking about.
Yeah, I was going to let you handle all that. I wasn't going to say a word. We were just going to transition in and let you make the big announcement coming up here.
Yeah, but no, yeah, our international conference has gone on since the mid '80s, and during COVID, again, we had to pivot to something that is virtual. So we just had a successful Canada conference where we had almost 100 more members than we actually did the previous year. So we're looking forward to doing the same thing again for the international. And we've gone virtual. It's going to be almost 8-hour days worth of presentations. And we're looking at an international audience there. So we've geared our presentations towards, the 4 continents that we serve, Asia, Europe, South America, and North America in terms of time frames. So there's going to be schedules that are going to be suitable for everybody in terms of their workday. And 4 days, 8-hour days, long days, but the ability to actually watch everything, for the 90 days after. So at a very, very reasonable cost, I think. So, and you get a 1-year membership if you qualify, and if you're a non-member. So I think it's kind of cool, right?
That's awesome. So you let the cat out of the bag. I'm glad the email actually came out. I just got the email a couple hours ago myself, and I was like, yes, we can talk about it finally, because I know you've been talking about, kind of the challenges with COVID right now. Is it going to get worse? Where's it going to go? So now that it's a nice clear path with that, and you had mentioned in there that they get a year membership included into that. And I'm looking at this, and it says for non-members, obviously this is the price. For members of HTCIA, it's $195. For non-members, it's $295. Now, it's always had two different prices, but with that price this year, you get a year membership, right, upon qualification. So can you elaborate on what would qualify someone or not?
Yeah, for us, it's about, what type of work do you do? Are we talking about, are you working defense work all the time? Are you actually doing both defense and prosecution work as part of your regular duties? If you're a defense attorney, you're probably not going to be suitable for the HTCIA. But if you're in a jurisdiction where you have to do both defense work and prosecution work, then you may be suitable for the HTCIA. The majority of our members are doing work for prosecution. Majority of our information security members are independent of any criminal investigation, so that's fine. Same thing with cybersecurity members, but we have law enforcement officers who make up the majority of our membership across the world, and the sharing of ideas and the sharing of investigations is crucial to them. They need to have a trust relationship with the HTCIA, and a part of that relationship is making sure that they're not forwarding information to defense attorney or defense attorney employees that can use that information against them.
Right.
Relatively simple.
So essentially, if they're basically not their work, you should be okay, right? Is what we're looking at.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect.
And we have to make that distinction because, again, relationships are about trust, and our members need to be able to, trust that we're speaking with other members, and the information that they're forwarding is not going to be used against them, so to speak.
Right. No, that makes perfect sense, for sure. And I've been a member on and off HTCIA for, gosh, I guess as long as I've been doing digital forensics. I can't remember what year I found you guys. It's been a minute for sure, because it was when I first got into mobile forensics, where I really ran with the ball in digital forensics. That was fun. It was a class way back, and it was actually here in Ohio that you guys had sponsored this course and brought everything in. It was a huge discount on the course, which was phenomenal. And that was the very first mobile phone class that I ever gone to. And, I can't remember what year it was. I'm thinking 07-ish, 08, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It was a while ago. Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny, you know what, Kevin, because our timelines are pretty similar. I was in major crime in 2006, and we had a kidnapping of a young, wealthy man in Vancouver by the name of Graham McMinn. And I was quickly tasked with doing the cell phone analysis and writing the initial wiretap for that. And like you, I was the only one that sort of understood that, cell phones, they have these signals that bounce off towers and you can maybe locate a person. If we talk to the companies that are actually, own the cell phone towers, and maybe we can ping people in that area. Maybe we can find out if there was anyone in the area when he was actually kidnapped. Well, that turned out to be critical evidence in terms of the kidnapping, because we placed the suspects in the area of the kidnapping. They changed their phones. Then we placed the suspects at a new location. and eventually we recovered him after 8 days with some SWAT intervention and some great investigation in terms of some wiretap and some other techniques. But it's funny how, you say that you're the only one who knew how to turn on the power button. Well, I was the only one at that stage who was really interested in cell phones as a technique in terms of investigation. So I got labeled pretty quickly too. And they never forgot that. They even remembered when I got promoted to sergeant, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't
I
take
think we were
long
both
to get
labeled around the same
again.
time.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely.
I know.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
And you know what?
No regrets, though. No regrets.
No, not
regrets.
at all. Not at all. It wouldn't have given me the unique perspective I have now. And even though I don't do active cases anymore, I believe it or not, I still have my commission. Many years later, I've been doing this just in case theory. I don't know why. I've been out of law enforcement full time now since 2012, and you just never know. You might need it again someday. But no, it's been great, and the networking aspect of it, again, it just helps that like-mindedness of things, and you guys are positioned really well because you have a lot of the live events. Obviously, when COVID gets all running its course, and hopefully it will run its course pretty quickly, but you have a nice mix of live events. Now, obviously, some chapters are more active than other chapters, and I'm really lucky being here in Ohio. We have an annual conference here in Ohio too. I don't know if you've ever been to it, but next year you should absolutely come because it's way out in the middle of nowhere. And actually, the week before the HTCIA Ohio conference is a Bigfoot conference. I kid you not. It is a Bigfoot conference, and they actually have this search for Bigfoot stuff because it is out in the middle of these woods. So we've always talked about showing up.
So you're saying there's an overlap between.
Go ahead, Brandt. Go ahead.
Just don't show up in a costume. Don't show up in a costume because Ohio is a state.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So we've actually talked about that. Some of the guys have been around a while, like Art, and Jimmy Hawk and stuff like that. Showing up just a few days early in a Bigfoot Sasquatch costume and just running through the wood line of the property, but we worried about getting shot at and tied up and, things like that.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure.
No, it would be funny.
You talk about guys like that. You talk about Art, and we've got some members that have been here since the mid '80s, and they're still doing it. And again, it's that building. And as a member of the board over the past couple of years, it's talking to guys like that who tell me now that, like any other organization, there's been ups and there's been downs, and they're still proud to be a part of it. And the growth that we've seen in terms of our presence, our online presence, in terms of our membership uptick, in terms of our branding, in terms of our events, and the ability to get to our events at any point in any time, we're really, really proud of that. But it's based upon the experiences of our members. And we have an international board from 33 chapters. It's represented by 33 chapters across the world. And we seriously, take their input and utilize it to make ourselves better. And those are people who are in the field, working in the field, still employed in the field, and have a variety of experiences. And some are new members, some are old members, but we're one of the oldest organizations that provides training for investigators by investigators in these fields. These fields used to be only law enforcement centric, but think about the growth of cybersecurity and information security in the last 10 years in terms of expertise. I think the argument would be at the nation state level, law enforcement is still very, very prevalent in those areas, and even at the state and local policing level. But information security itself has moved into the large corporate areas. Cybersecurity has moved into the large corporate areas too. So, you have to have the ability to talk to all those people, and we're one of the organizations that still has a lot of members from all of those sectors. So it's kind of cool that way.
Yeah, that is. And that's kind of what one of my favorite things anyway, is that it's such a diverse group. And I'm trying to talk and type at the same time. I love this new platform. We can do social media right from it, which is neat. Anyway, that, it's such a diverse group because, my strong point is not cybersecurity by any means, or some of the wireless technologies out there. And one of the things that I like to do as part of the networking is go seek out people that a topic that I had no idea about, because you can learn so much just by sitting back a little bit and listening. It's pretty amazing the things that you can learn.
I'm gonna ask you to do something for me, Kevin. Can you just go into the HTCIA.org for me and share a screen, and we'll pop through a couple things?
Yeah, I'm already there on this one screen here. I'm going to attempt this. Right? So sometimes when I share my screen, I get popped out, but I'm going to go ahead and do a Chrome tab. And I have HTCIA and share. All right. And this should minimize.
We know you don't like Kevin.
All right. So we should be down in the corner. Yeah, we are down in the corner. Great. And there we go. All right. Let me flip back to, there we go. Okay. I'm here. Where did you want me to head off to?
Yeah. So just log yourself. Yeah. Just log in for a second, Kevin.
See, now you're testing my skills to whether I can remember my password or not. But everyone else that's not a member should go right there. Right. So it's pretty easy to find it. But I'm going to go ahead and try this. Should have had me do this prior to. Let me stop sharing for just 1 second, because I know there are cyber professionals and security people.
Live is the only way, Kevin. Live is a true test.
Yeah, see that? Joel says, "Yep, he's recording the screen right now." So give me 1 second. I'll get logged in. So member log in here, and see, now I have a million. Can't talk and type at the same way here. Oh, so I have. See, now I have two.
And this is not a test, I promise.
It is, because I have two logins for you for some reason, and it's probably going to yell at me that I'm in my grace period for my membership here. Yeah, I can't find my password right now. It's not letting me log in.
What I would say is let's just navigate through the website for a second, and maybe head to the LMS, and we'll take a look at the Canada and show the variety of speakers that we had.
That's all down right at the moment because it's getting prepped for international at this point. So wait a minute. I think I have I think I have a backup of it actually running. Now that you mention it, let me see if I can get to it real quick. See, you're catching me off guard in the live environment here. I can type quick though.
That's why I love doing presentations and bringing in live stuff too, right?
It's like, yeah, what can we make go wrong? All right, let's try this. There we go. I'm in. So, all right, let me share my screen, and I'm going to share a tab, and it is the virtual lobby. So there's the Canada Cyber Summit screen that we should be seeing that one. Are you seeing it?
Yeah, it's just popping up right now.
Okay. Yeah. So this is that part of it. So
yeah. So this is our Canada conference. You can see our sponsors on the right. This is something that Avery Solutions, Kevin and Megan did for us to host our conference, and just pop through here and navigate through here for a second in terms of some of the sessions there, Kevin.
Yeah. So this was kind of some of the networking stuff that, we had talked about, because you get really the best of both worlds. You get, even when you can't meet live, there's scenarios like this that you can, and this should look very familiar if anyone's a member of Cyber Social Hub. of this platform that's being utilized here. But if you wanted to attend any conferences, you could literally just, or any talks that were going on live right at the moment, you could just click join live right there. You can also just go through any of the sessions here and hit all. And then in here, there was a grouping out of all the calendar events, right? And you could go through and see. Now, it's only going to show us a couple here. Let me go back to May here when it first started. There we go. There we go. So there, we started right here with these talks, and you could literally just go through here, find any talk that you were interested in. You could also, I think on this page, no, on another page, you could go and filter down. But, I'll let you speak to this a little bit, so I'm not running my jib so much.
Yeah. Thanks, Kevin. I mean, as you can see, the variety of presenters there. We've got cyber, we've got information security. Most importantly, we've got a virtual happy hour every day, which was critical to the event. We've got Dartnet, we've got a MSAB as a vendor, excellent presentation, SIM swaps. We got Tehena as a vendor talking about their dark web platform for investigations. Legal updates that stretch across Canada and US, incident response, Windows registry tips from Teal Technologies, which is an international company, not just a Canadian company. We ended up with about 4 live presentations a day and vendor presentations there, and the international is just going to be double that size of that. So if you're talking about a variety of topics, because nobody knows it all, but the beautiful thing here is if you miss something, you could have come back that night and taken a look at it in the library that was created. And I think that's the value, because we're all working from home at the moment. We all have specific times of the day that we're really functional in terms of work. Mm-hmm. And, it's the FOMO, the FOMO, afraid to miss something. Well, don't ever be afraid to miss something on the HTCIA levels, because you can come back to it in terms of a recording, right? So,
Yeah, absolutely. And
so that's what, that's sort of what we offer.
Yeah, I almost just dropped my battery here with I have my sticker on it. That's what that loud crash was you guys heard. I think Megan just posted some information about the international conference there in chat. Thanks for that, Megan. So you can just click the link in the chat and
thanks, Megan,
and learn a little bit more about it. I'll be at the virtual international now that you have officially announced it, and we can talk about it a little bit. If you're familiar with, Brandt's there and now he's back. Okay. You actually disappeared completely from the screen, Brandt. It was like you flew away, and then the box came back. The animations for Crowdcast is funny. But if you're familiar with this environment that we're literally setting in right now, that's what I think the talks are going to be in, right, Brandt? Is kind of this environment with the chat running, being fully engaged in the audience type thing.
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, we do have moderation in the background in terms of the questions, so the presenters can actually, concentrate on their subjects. But the interactivity and the ability to actually go back in terms of this hubcast, go back to a certain place where a question was asked, and go back to that specific question is just awesome. And Crowdcast is something that we're moving away from Zoom just because of the abilities for Crowdcast. And I know you can speak to them a little bit better than I can, Kevin, but we're totally impressed with them as an organization. And you've got to be able to flip to new technologies very quickly. That's the expectation. That's always been my expectation. So I know that's no different from anybody else. And we all know that technology is easy.
Right. Well, I mean, they've made it really that way. And the reason I chose to move our company, my primary company, obviously, is a very solutions here. And, the Cyber Social Hub is a part of that. And I wanted to give a community for people to just be social, And the reason we moved away from Zoom is a couple of reasons. Is because, this is completely browser based. You don't have all the security issues of all that. So you're dealing with the security of the browser which we know is completely fine, right? But anyway, you more rely on that and the limitations of it being able to reach the file system, being able to reach permissions for this. All that stuff's already built in. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. So yeah, no, we're a big love of Crowdcast for sure. And as soon as this is over, which we're getting close to that top of the hour, and we'll respect everyone's time, is that as soon as we end the broadcast, we could just move over to chat and continue the conversation. And then it takes about, I think, 60 seconds.
For sure.
And then the replay is ready to go. Yeah, absolutely ready to go. And if you missed part of it,
you
can just watch it.
Which is, that's such a fantastic feature. Can't even say enough about that. There's no major upload or, download at the end of the day. It's already sitting in the hubs. If anybody out there is, thinking about those things or thinking about doing their own sessions or training that way, that's a valuable tool unto itself. The ability to just see something when you want it. And, we can't all make live sessions. And the majority of our sessions from the Canada conference were actually, we had a great live crowd. But we also had tons of people that were asking, okay, when is the upload going to occur? When can I watch this after hours? I had a work meeting, or I had something else to do, or pick up my kids, or this and that. So, I think it's just a great feature, and it's something that everyone should be pushing towards, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, my primary company is we do a lot of things for companies, and the networking thing, especially with COVID, these types of platforms here, like Cyber Social Hub like platforms, and then the ability to have conversations like that are critical. So, to wrap up here a little bit, Brandt, to thank you. Now, I know I've already let the cat out of the bag on this because I was really excited about getting these things in, but I'm going to ship you for hanging out on the cast today. One of these things, I'll give it a couple seconds to kind of set in. It's really not focusing that well on it. Hopefully it's backwards on my screen. I'm hoping it's not printed backwards on your screen. It says the Cyber Social Hub.
No, it looks great.
Hubcast. And if you look right up here, this is, an A10 Warthog. If you're not familiar with what these things are, it's got this massive Gatling gun on the front of it. Right. And so it's like, what are these?
Bring the rain.
Yeah. What do these things have to do with each other? Well, on the back of this same cert is an actual certification that this was actually fired out of an A10 Warthog. This is the shell. Now, if you go and do any homework on these, you realize that Warthogs shoot depleted uranium. This is a practice round, so you won't grow a third eye from doing a shot out of this. You're fine. You can see they had to actually fill in the primer out of this, but it's nice and hefty, and we'll make sure we send that out to you, Brandt. So thanks for popping on the cast and talking a little bit about networking. Yeah.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. I appreciate that, and I do need another shot glass, so that's awesome.
Yeah. In the meantime, make sure to learn more about the conference, right, Brandt? Go to there's a link in there.
Yeah, sure.
Megan posted up in the chat, and then the organization itself, phenomenal. Now, there's a lot of options out there, and maybe you want to be members of multiple things, but I personally also recommend HTCIA just because it's been such a help to me throughout my career.
And same with me. For me, it got me where I'm at, and it helped me in terms of digital forensics and cyber, and at a time when I really needed some professional connections, and that hasn't stopped. And I've gained friends for the rest of my life through the organization. So give it a shot, and we're going to be there for you, and we're going to point you in the right direction. And hopefully you're going to get value out of it, because that's what we're about, and value to people. So thank you so much, Kevin, for the opportunity, and looking forward to working together on a number of projects in the near future. And not only the international, just the marketing and, the general transformation of the HTCIA, which you're a big part of. Thanks again.
Hey, thanks for coming on, and take care. If you guys need to get a hold of Brandt, his email address is somewhere in the thread, or you can go to the website and do the contact. But again, everybody, thanks for showing up. Appreciate it. take care. Have a great day, and we'll see you on the next cast.
Stay safe, everyone. Thanks.